Hey, it's Dave Dolphin at practicalworshipblog.com, and today I want to give you 5 tips on how to be more productive as a worship pastor. I know that in church life it seems like there's not enough hours in the day to get done all the things that need to get done, but how did people like Steve Jobs or Billy Graham accomplish all that they did? How did they get those things done? So here's 5 things that I try to do to maximize my time and to be able to get more things done. Number 1, touch something once. You know the email that you get and you read it all the way through and you realize that in order to respond to it, you need to ask someone else a question or look something up on your computer or do some research. And so you set it aside, and then later that day or maybe the next day, you respond to that email and you read through it all the way again and you do whatever that email needs you to do. Here's the problem. You've now read that email twice. So multiply that by how many emails you get in a day, plus text messages, plus Facebook messages or tweets, or even actual pieces of mail you might get in your office box at the office. If you can have the mindset that I'm only going to touch this once, so if I read this email, I need to be able to respond to it and move on. And the moment that I realize that I can't do that, I stop reading. And I wait until I'm in a position where I can read it all the way through, do what I need to do with that email, and then move it on. Number 2, at the beginning of your day, or maybe at the end of the previous day, write down 3 things that you want to accomplish that day. Maybe you need to get ready for rehearsal, or there's a microphone that was feeding back last Sunday and you want to look into that, or your senior pastor asked you for a report or some information. Write those 3 things down and then do those things in that order. And if something happens, like maybe your senior pastor comes to you and says, I need your help on something, obviously go do that. But then when you get back to your desk, get right back on task doing the 3 things that you set out to do. And if you get to the end of the list and you still have more day, then think of 3 other things to do. If you get to the end of the day and there's still maybe 1 thing left to do on your list, then you can decide whether or not that needs to carry over to the next day to do that thing, or maybe come up with 3 other things to do. But if you write these things down and you decide at the beginning of your day what you want to accomplish, I think you'd be amazed how much you can get done in a week. Number 3, calendar as much as you possibly can. If we have a meeting with our senior pastor, or if we're gonna have lunch with someone, we put that in our calendar. But what about things like, I want to clean up the backstage area of our stage, or I want to songwrite, or even reading our Bible. These are technically meetings with ourselves. Why aren't we putting those in our calendar? To-do lists are great about keeping track of all the things that we need to get done, but a calendar is even better because it tells us when it's going to get done. Number 4, figure out when you are at your best. When are you the most creative, the most motivated, have the most energy? For me, it's first thing in the day. So if I've got a project that's going to require me to really kind of push myself, to do a lot of research, make some phone calls, something that's going to require a lot of motivation, I'm going to schedule that to be done the very first part of the day. For other people, it might be after lunch. They need a little bit of time to kind of get going. And then after lunch, it's like, let's hit this. For some people, it's in the evening. That's when they're the most creative. That's when they get the most work out of them. So if you know that about yourself, then you can schedule like the big picture stuff to be done at that time. Don't try to do, if you're a night person, why are you trying to do a big project first thing in the morning? And number 5, delegate. Now I know what you're thinking. Our church isn't that big. We don't have a ton of people running around. Who am I supposed to delegate to? Well, I would say nearly all of our churches have a church secretary. So what are you doing right now that you can delegate to him or her? Maybe that's printing off the charts for the weekend. Maybe that's teaching them how to use Planning Center so that they can organize it and then print off your run sheets for the weekend. And then beyond the staff, the people that are getting paid at your church, what about putting together a volunteer team that maybe helps you? For example, let's say if you rehearse on a Thursday. What if you had a team on Wednesday that came in and distributed all the charts and hole punched them and got them in the notebooks and make sure everyone had certain chords, maybe even helped you with a line check. That person doesn't need to know how to play the drums, but they can sit down and bang the kick and bang the snare and help you with a line check. So if there is a bad cable, you can figure that out on Wednesday and make your service time or your rehearsal time on Thursday that much more productive because you can hit the ground running and rock and roll. So that's 5 tips, 5 things that I try to do to maximize my time and to be more productive in the week. Hey, I'm curious. Out of those 5 things I just mentioned, what do you think you would struggle with the most? Put that in the comments below, and then as a community, let's try to help each other to continue to do this task that we do of leading worship. If this has been helpful, I would love for you to like the video. That allows us to get more exposure here at YouTube and get this information out to more people. And if these videos are helpful, subscribe to the channel. That way you know when new videos hit here at YouTube. And for more great practical advice, check out the blog, practicalworshipblog.com.